Hello, we are going to be starting a new series. I read a lot of manga, man, and all that, novels too. And I just thought, while I'm always reading or watching them, even when they get like an anime or something, I always just want like a quick run through or something like somebody just does a review on it and tries to cover some maybe the points that I care about, just to see if I would even want to read it or watch it. And that's what I'm going to try to do here. Try to make it. It's not going to be too long, and it's not going to delve too deep in it, but it's going to give you a good enough basis on if you would want to read it or not. So our first one here, it's nothing special. It's just I was reading it and I'm like, might as well. I'm doing it, and that is going to be the Villainess who was dumped and got married into my family, a mob noble from the Frontier, and turns out she's an amazing, capable wife. Yes, I had to look and read it, and I can't read that Japanese. I can read some of it, but what is going on in the middle there? I have no fucking idea. We have Dekiru. Okay. Well, I was reading this one. Took me like 30 to an hour to read it all. I wasn't like focused entirely on it. I was playing some things while doing it. So I thought I might as well do it. So how I'm going to do these reviews, I'm going to split into 5 parts. We're going to do it on the story, or the story plot, characters. Characters are pretty important, as well as the story. Like, I just gloss over that, but some people, they can get through reading something for just the characters, even if the story's shit. I know that does lead us to the next part, which is art. Pretty interchangeable. It's kind of hard reading shit rereading stuff with bad art, so art is very important to take into account if you want to read something. Then world building and setting, what are they doing there, and how was the world built around them, and then themes. So what they're trying to tackle. I think themes. I'm not good with themes. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna be able to explain things very well here, but I'll just be able to tell you something quick with it. So with that said, let's get into the story slash plot. The story is pretty generic in all accounts. You've probably read a few titles with the same exact kind of premise. Of course, they're not always the same word by word plot, but they share many similarities, which you're about to find out. So, the story is a run-of-the-mill isekai where the main character is reincarnated into a game he used to play, and he's actually been reincarnated into a mob's family. If you don't know what a mob is, I don't know why you're watching this video. I'm just kidding. So, a mob is more just like a character that has like no significance to the story at all. That's how I take it. That they're just a background character and they have no saying how the story goes, and you shouldn't even worry about them. Well, nowadays, with how many of these mobs are just spawning main characters, I don't even know why all these mobs are. They got to think like, I'm a mob character. I want a character to think like that. Well, obviously this one doesn't, but like, I'm a mob character. That means I'm one of those special ones. They never look at it that way, which is weird to me with how many titles there's been. How has no one thought of the idea to make a kind of story like that? But maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe that's why I'm not a story creator. I'm not creating stories because I can't do it. So, stories around Mel Sekai. Starts off with he was born into just a noble house of accounts. I think it was. I'm probably already wrong. It doesn't matter. That does not have any matter. But he's born into a noble household, not royalty, but he's born in like the far ends where it's always war, and it actually starts out with his whole family dying and nobody of his family alive, which is pretty funny to me. I was like, what the hell? He started off like this? So don't even care about that, It's like 2 lines they mention it, and he might have some trauma, but it has not delved too deep into that. So his whole family dies, and now he has to take care of his noble estate alone. He has a few servants, but most of them died in the war too, or whatever the hell they're fighting. I don't even know what the hell they're fighting. I think they're just fighting some people. I don't even care. It doesn't even matter. But everyone's dead and he's trying to run it alone. Lo and behold, his butler comes and tells him they got a marriage proposal. You know how it goes. You about to get this bad bitch. We see her right there. That's Alicia. Hope I say that name right. And I have not mentioned it yet, but the main character's name, shit, I already forgot it. That's how it goes. How do I not know his name? I got like a little something up here to read off. Did I not write his name? It's something R. Man, his name don't even got main character. That's his name, okay? Because his name does not matter. Okay, he is not somebody I care about. I do care about him. but not like that. Well, main character over there, his name like Ragnar or something, Ragnar, whatever the hell. That's Alicia. I remember her name at least. Come on, don't play with me. Well, he's like, shit, I don't want her. Because I already know she's a villainess. Like, he's already thinking like, oh, she's a villainess and she leads to like a bad end and all that. I'm like, she's this crazy bitch. I don't want her. But you know, they kind of had to. Her Duke's family, she's from the Duke's family. You already know that's how it goes. The villainess is usually from the Dukes. Playing down on some commoner girl, that's how it was. He knows all that because he played the game, and you know, guess who she's trying to get with? The prince. Shit like that happened. So she comes all the way down there. When he meets her, he finds out she's got this burn scar on her. She's acting completely different, and he's like, the fuck? Why's she like this? And he's like, okay, maybe she's not too bad. So then he like starts doing some Riz game on her, and like she falls for it somewhat. I don't even know. But yeah, boom. After that, you know, she just lived in the house. He brings her up into the mountains, say you beautiful and all that, saying some stuff like that, like promises to protect her. Then a dragon pops out. You're like, the fuck? A dragon? What the fuck a dragon doing here? And then boom, okay, all that happens, and then they move on and they go to the academy. The academy, you know, they're chilling at the academy. Lo and behold, he starts thinking like, shit ain't right. So he goes and spies on where the prince is, because then he'll find the female, like the female main character. But lo and behold, there's this other bitch, and he's like, who the fuck is this? And this other bitch got all these other boys around her, and he's like, hold the fuck up. She onto some shit. Here's the new bitch, who's like not the main character, but she's like this bitch who got all the love interests around there. Which if I do here, we got all the love interests right here. These are all the love interests at the top, right? At the top, except the prince. Fuck the prince, okay? You know, he's just your stereotypical blonde guy. You think it's a blonde? Not me. But you think of like some stereotypical blonde prince. That's what he looks like. You know, they all look similar. You got like this guy on the right. He looks like the roughhouse type. You got the guy in the middle, pushing his glasses. You know, he's obviously the nerd, the smart guy. You got the playboy looking motherfucker at the back, and you got the prim and proper motherfucker right there. He probably got some dark shit. Lo and behold, he does. If you read it, you find out. I won't say too much, but you one of them little dark. You like one of the main villains, I guess you can say. Well, boom, you got all them bitches, and here she is. You know, she do look cute, but lo and behold, if you look at the top right, not the top right, the top of her head, you see there's some dark roots. This bitch dyeing her hair. She ain't natural. So you already know she a fake ass bitch. I'm just kidding. You know, if you dye your hair, do what you want. I'm just saying because later the main character makes the observation that she's dyed her hair, and I took that as she like trying to look more like the female MC, or like not the female MC like Alicia, but like the one of the game, the female main character of the game that's supposed to be with all these boys. So let's go take a look at her real quick. Here's the main character. Her name is Mariana Ocean. That's like I'm like Ocean. The fuck? Well, as you probably not probably tell, but as a guest, she has like the saint capabilities, which most of these Otome games usually lead to like the main character, you know. So usually has like the qualifications to become a saint, which she does. She can heal people pretty well. She's a pretty fun going girl, and while reading it, I do not think she might, I don't think so, get romantic feelings for the MC, because I don't think that's gonna happen, but don't even worry about it. And then, yeah, so they're at the academy, you got the headmaster, we'll look at him later when we do the character section, but you know, he's just an old guy who's pretty strong, and then get the playboys, and yeah, that's pretty much all the playouts to go. If I had to get a rating to the plot, I've read a lot of stuff, so I hope I have a good qualifications to speak about how good the story and plot is. I would give this a like a 5 out of 10. It's completely average. Maybe even a 4 out of 10. I might say it's a below average just because of how I can't do that. I could honestly give it a 6 maybe, because the most above average thing here is maybe is the female MC, not her, Alicia. She has a burn scar. We're back at it again, see? Burn scar. So I'd say that's probably the most different thing about this, is that just she's scarred, but like, does that really matter? She's still pretty fucking cute. Pretty as you can tell. So yeah, I'll give it a 5. You know, I gotta try to make this strict, because I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna make a tier list. I'm probably gonna add each one by one when I do them. and I just might have to go over some old titles I've already read and just add them. Like Berserk, I've read most of Berserk. I've not finished it because the author died, and I'm like, shit, what do I do? But that's not a good excuse because I want to go. I see spoilers on TikTok. Don't worry, I know what's going on, but we'll go over that. So, yep, okay, we're just gonna remove 5 of them would be mostly strict. So let's move on to the characters. Here we got the 2 MCs of this. You got the main character and his love interest. This is I'd say 50%, 50%, 50% like slice of life. Maybe no, that's a bad. Just it's mostly romance. I'd say that's like romance, action. I want to say adventure. I don't even know how to define that. Well, these are 2 MCs. They love each other. You got the guy on the left, main character dude. I already forgot his name. Don't matter. Most of these I already forget their name right away. It's something R. I think it's Ragnar. Not Ragnar. No, not from Viking. Ragnar or something like that. So you got him. Then you got Alicia. They're pretty cute. We'll now move on to the next character. My man Sebas is the butler dude. He's a homie. He's strong. I don't know how strong, but he just, he ran into some place, beat some people up. That's all you gotta know. But yeah, he's not like a super important character, which I don't have, because I don't have a lot to say, but he's just a cool guy, and I just wanted to talk about him. Cut. Resume. Next guy we got here is the headmaster, as you see, his name is Vorze Gran Cascade. Why did I say it like that? What the fuck? Okay, well, he's a headmaster, he knows all this shit. And he's just a strong guy, as you can see. He's not, he's a dick, but he's not like, he doesn't hold preconceptions on the main character because he's from the boonies or the female MC, because she was already kind of expelled. I think she was like, yeah, she was expelled, but then she went back. I don't even know how. That is a weird vowel. So I think they just said some shit, but it was some stupid shit that does not make sense. Don't even worry about it like that. They're there, why not? So, he's as you can see, it says right there, the man who holds the titles of a sage. He is from one of the ducal houses. Oh, he is. I didn't even know that. Doesn't matter, probably. Doesn't. Maybe he does. Well, he's just a cool guy. He, tells them, see how he knows the main character, of the game. And, his girl, female MC, Alicia, how their, fates have now become very estranged, because they're supposed to stay in tune with the game, and now they're not, and somehow he knows that, so MC's like, how the fuck he knows that? But yeah, that's about all I gotta tell about him. Let's move to the next character. Cut. Resume. Here is Mariana Ocean. I've already talked about her somewhat. This is the female MC of the game. And now she's not. She has none of the main interests going against her. As you can tell, she's just like a studious girl, but she's bumming. She's clumsy. That's probably her main thing. She's clumsy, and she's a good friend to the main characters, and kind of pushes their love to going. Will help. Tries to set them out on dates, but then she talking about how she wants the female MC. You know how it go. Well, that's it. Yeah. She's a nice girl, and there's probably gonna be more to see from her later on. Maybe develops love. I don't really want her to, but yeah. That's it. Cut. Resume. Next, this is the main villain of the manga, the new MC that's popped out, who is a reincarnator just like the MC. What is your name? Don't matter. Don't matter. These are just going quick. You want to know her name? Read it. She's a bitch. She doing some weird stuff, okay? Go get your reverse harem if you want. But she doing some shady stuff in the back, and she doing, oh man, there's this one panel, you ain't not gonna like this girl. Maybe you will. If you do, top secret. I don't care for her. Let her this bitch you beat the fuck out of. Not like that though, no hitting the women, but fuck this girl though. We'll now move on. These are the 4 capture targets other than the prince. Fuck the prince, I already told you how he is. I really got nothing to say except the guy on the far left. He's the only one in the manga who's been dealt upon with some information. He's just he got a fucked up origin, and that just leads him being 50-50. He's going to be a nice guy, or he's going to be this dead motherfucker. So, yeah. That's all the characters. Characters rating, I would give a... Or do I already want to go to the 0.5s? No, we'll give a 6 out of 10 for the characters. It's really hard carried by the female MC, and female MC is Alicia, not the game. She probably the best character in this freaking manga, and all the other characters are just kind of pretty generic, except the guy on the far left right there. And yeah, let's move to the next topic. So for world building, there's really only 2 spots: the hometown of the guy, not really a good picture, just the boonies, and then the royal capital Aether, which in the middle is like the school. This is really where it's all set. The world building is not extensive. It really only goes to 2 places, and it's not something that takes a lot of attention to, or there's a lot to explain about. It's just looks a little above medieval with magic and stuff, and that's about it. World building, I'll give it a 2 out of 10. I'm not going to say it's average, because maybe average would have more areas. Maybe when it goes more around, they'll delve to more areas, like some of the ducal families, territories. But right now it's 2 places, and there's nothing to say. So 2 places, you get a 2 out of 10. You get up to 10 places, you get a 10 out of 10, maybe. I don't know. But that's all I got to say about the world building. Let's move on to the final, and that is the themes. No, I lied. We still got to cover art. Where'd art at? Well, let's go into it right now. So here's one picture of the art. As you can see, it's kind of nice. It's nothing. It doesn't hurt your eyes to look at. And you see there's some good detail on the overpowering of the force field surrounding the city. And then you get all the houses drawn. The artist's doing a good job. Here's the Braves territory. Kind of nice shading, cool mountains, nothing special. I've already shown this. Very nice, very nice. Sebas, my man, what up? Cute. It's pretty cool. This is the dragon I was talking about. It's alright art. It's nothing amazing, but it's readable. It's probably like the best of it that I could find. And it's pretty nice. As you can see, it's a lot of detail in the back. I swear a lot of these guys get this like over paneling and like a lot of effort in this one section. But it's pretty nice. Pretty cute art. I take this art because I'm like, it's probably one of the more cutest arts. And then, come on, I'll give you. Come on. See a lot of detail. Very pretty. Very pretty. So art. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. I won't give it a 7, because 7 would start being like, yeah, this is. You can say it's pretty good art. I wouldn't say this is pretty good art, but I'd say it's above average, definitely. And that has led us to my overall grade. What did I even say? I've already forgot. I don't really want to look through the video and just make another section about me making a grade. Let me think here. You guys already know. So story plot, I gave that a 5 out of 10 because I wanted to be strict on it. We then went to the characters, which I gave a 6 out of 10 on it, making it 11. 6 out of 10 made it to a 11. Shouldn't I just do an average? Why the fuck am I doing this dumb shit? What's the average? How do you do that? Oh god, no. Well, yeah. Well, let's give that. So overall grade, I'd say the average is going to be right around a 5 out of 10. It's a decent read, but it's nothing that's going to make you gush over it, or maybe even say it's your favorite, or like you'll think about these characters and how it hurts you somewhat thinking about them. But no, this will not make you feel like that. But it's a nice read, and would I recommend it? Do I want to be strict? I would recommend it. Yeah, okay. I recommend it because it takes like 30 minutes tops. If you're just reading it, tops to read all the chapters. There's not a lot of chapters out, so maybe I wouldn't recommend it, but I would recommend putting it in your reading list, but not reading it just yet. Maybe wait and see how much they adapt, and if they cut it early, like they axe it just for it has a novel. It's based off a novel. There you go. If you like novels, go and read the novel. Maybe. I haven't read it. I don't plan to. I have a lot of reading to catch up on, and I cannot be adding more onto it, and this is not grab my attention enough to go and grab it. Maybe that you can take that as a recommendation on if you should read this or not. But yeah, I would recommend it because just how quick it is, and it's a fun read. Well, if you enjoyed this video, do whatever you want. doing this for my own pleasure, I guess. They take a while to set it up, so that sucks. Even though you see it's pretty shoddy. I don't even know what to really do. I'm just talking about. I try to bring some pictures up. I don't even know how to do all that. Dead ass. I just took some pictures and then talked over them. If you enjoyed it, I do plan on making more. Even if this gets no views, I'm gonna make more. Just on any. I'm reading. I've already got a lot. I'm reading a lot I can do because I've already read them. But I'm torn on if I should do series that have anime. I'm torn if I should do those. Like a big one is like, I wouldn't do it on JJK. So many things out and everyone's already watching it. And if you're not reading it by then, they just don't want to read it. So I'm not going to do like JJK, even though I got JJK in the back there. Same with like Tokyo Ghoul. It's already got whole anime, Black Clover as well. Pretty much caught up, but like, everyone's just already big anime, so that's tough. I probably won't. But maybe if they only got like one season, I would. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.